Ah, there you are. Good evening, me old Sporodactyls, Dinkles and Popsy Pings, and how the devil are you? You're joining me here by the roadside on an industrial estate in, I was going to say that there, but it is this here, Bonnie, Scotland. I've had a good run today. I've got up the way quite a bit. Now, I was in bed. I was in bed for 8 o'clock and I was nodding off, and I put my light out about 20 past 8 and I was boom, gone. But I was woke up about 10:30. The cab was a-rocking. The cab was a-rocking. The rain bouncing off the bloody ceiling like a snare drum. And I think we must be in the tail end of some kind of bloody storm or something up here, because we've got a lull in the battle at the minute. It's died off again. But it's now 11:15 and I'm bloody wide awake. I might get up to have a drink and an hay fever tablet, because my hay fever seems to be playing up again. It's like, I don't know if I'm coming down with something, but it's, it's bloody winter and I'm snotting and sneezing and snitching and snutching and bloody all sorts. Maybe I'm just getting old. We'll have a banana, I'm not. Maybe I'm just getting old and feeling the aches and pains. I suppose I'm in the perfect job for self-isolation if I am coming down with something, do you know what I mean? But no, I enjoy this job on the whole. I really do enjoy this job. I don't want to tramp forever, but as long as I'm fit and well, I'll always be truck driving. I love it. It's something I should have done when I was younger. Something I always wanted to do 30 odd years ago when I left school. I left school in 1992, so what's that, 2025, it's 33 years ago. I always wanted to get into some form of truck driving, but over the years, life just kind of got it weird, didn't it? You know what I mean? I got round to it eventually, and I'm enjoying it. But I think to enjoy this job, now I'm no expert. I've only been driving class ones for 6.5 years. So there'll be a lot of people that watch this channel what's probably done more miles in reverse than I'll ever do going forwards. But I really do think that this job is not a job, it's a way of life. It's got to be within you to want it. Just my own opinion. But I think it's got to be within you to want it. And you've got to, especially for tramping, you've got to be comfortable in your own skin. I mean, I'll give you a quick look at roughly where I'm at. It's now nearly 11 o'clock at night, my big face. I'm parked up on an industrial estate in Scotland. I'm literally by the roadside. You might recognise where I'm at. I used to have a little hidey hole round the corner, which was on a more private part of this estate. My big face. And I haven't been to that particular spot for over 12 months. When I worked on the flatbeds for another company before I left and came back here, I used to park there quite regular. It's only round the corner down there, and it's kind of like gated off. There's some units round there. There was only, I think, 2 units in action at the time, but you could park there. You used to get about 6 or 7 of us parked there. But as per the norm in this game, more people start finding out about it. Then all they've got to do is tell one other person. They'll tell one of their friends. He'll tell 2 of his friends. And before you know it, you can't get bloody parked there. But not only that, people tend to dump bags of shit everywhere. They just dump the rubbish out and empty the piss bottles out and that. And thought it's only a matter of time before people get moved on. Well, lo and behold, I've not been for over 12 months. I went earlier on tonight and couldn't get on it. There's more businesses opened up on there. They've parked vans on and everything, and it just looked like it was going to be, the gate was going to be closing. I thought, well, somebody's ruined it. Somebody's knocked job up. But yeah, the reality is I'm by the roadside now. I'm going to sneeze again, I think, in a minute. I've had a hay fever tablet, but I think I'm coming down with a bit of a bit of flu or a cold or something. Excuse me. The reality is, that's a wagon just gone past. We are on an industrial estate and it's to be expected. The reality is, you've got to be at one and comfortable in your own skin and on your own doing this job, because you spend a lot of time on your own away all week. And I've always been a bit of a loner. I've got a lot of acquaintances. I've got a handful of friends. I've got hundreds of acquaintances. I used to be able to turn out in Wigan on my own. I'd always guarantee I knew somebody. You know, I'd go out for a pint and I'd always bump into somebody I knew. This channel now, I can always go out and somebody'll know me or recognise me. Oh, speaking of which, there was a lad what got on in my comments section. He said he'd seen me in Asda at the weekend. Excuse me, I'm gonna have to take another bloody tablet in a bit. I'll just wait for this one kicking in. Yeah, there was a lad commented he'd seen me out in Asda at the weekend shopping. I can't mind on your name, but hello pal, how are you? You alright? You're joining me, my snotty nose, my big face. He said, I recognise you in Asda, but I was a bit too nervous. I didn't want to come over and say hello, and I thought, well, why not? I'm nobody special. What you see is what you get. I don't bite. Well, not hard anyway. Not since the vet took all my bloody teeth out. No, you should have come over and said hello. I would have said hello to you. Wife man to roll the bloody eyes. She'd be like, oh, he's at it. Maureen, he's at it again, trucking. Do you know what I mean? But no, you should have come over. Now, if you see me in Asda again, I mean, I do go to the Asda most weekends in Carlisle, so come and see me. Come and say hello. I'm nobody special. What you see is what you get. I'm exactly like this off camera as I am on it. Do you know what I mean? Maybe a little bit of a quieter version off camera. I mean, you can't just walk around all the time and say, hello, how's it going? You alright? Me and my big face. I'll have chips and egg, love, please. I'll get fucking thrown in my face. But no, I have got this personality offline as I have on it. I'm no different and I'll still chat to you. I'm nobody special. Somebody else got on in one of my comment sections today. It's quite funny. I thought it was like a compliment and an insult at the same time. You know what I mean? And then they went on for, said blah 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 blah, and then kind of, I think what it is with you, you're a Z-list celebrity, a frustrated Z-list celebrity that never made it. How did that work? Surely as a Z-list celebrity, you've had to do something in the first place to get on a bloody list. You know what I mean? I thought, well, I've never wanted to be a celebrity, to be honest. I've not. This has been a journey for me, and it started off by complete accident. I have mentioned it before. This started off for me back in 2010, the YouTube thing, by complete accident. I was playing drums in a band, and I wanted to promote this band, so I ended up setting a Facebook page up. Excuse me, this hay fever tab's a little kick in a minute. I ended up setting a Facebook page up, and then I set a YouTube channel up, and it was my original first YouTube channel was called The Wigan Drummer. The Wigan Drummer 2010. It made sense. I played drums in a band and it was 2010. And then that band went tits up, as many did. And I ended up doing a video on that. I was bored in my brother's house. I ended up just doing a video talking to the camera, and it went from there. And it just started out as a bit of fun, and it just went from there. And then the 2010 bit dropped off, and I was just a Wigan drummer. Yeah, and it just went from there. And I've never taken myself seriously on it. I did get to a point years ago when I got on a few reality type TV shows on telly where I started thinking maybe I could be a TV presenter. And I was never up my own arse, but I started taking my videos a bit seriously and trying to present and then edit and do little documentary type things, you know what I mean? But it never came to anywhere. And people say, oh, you wish you'd have made it, you've never made anything like that. No, that's not the case. I dispute that. Z-list celebrity, I'll go with that, you know what I mean? I'm not a celebrity. People There's rare one or two people know who I am. Like a lad recognised me in Asda till the day. Most people have not a bloody clue who I am. Do you know what I mean? So, am I known? Yes, I would say I'm known to an extent. Probably known for being a knobhead, so not everybody likes you. Don't think when you do these channels on YouTube and stuff, everybody's going to like you. They're not. Some people are just get off on causing bother and trolling you and that. So, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I accept that. You can't be everybody's cup of tea in life. If life were like that, it'd be boring, wouldn't it? But Z-list celebrity, yeah, it's one or two people heard of me. I've never wanted to be any kind of celebrity. I don't get paid for any of this, do you know what I mean? Do I like the attention? I probably have done in the past, yeah. It doesn't bother me in the slightest now. Is there a bit of narcissism there? Yeah, I would say so, definitely. It's great when people say, oh, you've done that video, I loved it, it was fantastic. Of course, anybody what says they don't get a bit of a buzz out of that, I put it to you that you're a liar. Do you know what I mean? We all get a buzz out of it, of course we do. It's always nice when people come up to you and give you compliments. Of course, you can't just say, yeah, I'm brilliant, aren't I? Yeah, thanks, lad. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because you think, I think, you big-headed bastard. The trick is to play it down as, oh, well, it's not special, you know what I mean, but thanks very much. And try and be a bit humble about it. But inside you're thinking, get it. You know what I mean? And anybody what says any different is a liar. Unfortunately, we live in a world now of society where everything's instant access and everybody's getting the 5 minutes of fame. I've had my 5 minutes of fame. So on that side of things, it doesn't interest me anymore. I just have a nice little community on this channel. And I think you and I get along just fine, don't we? The majority of us anyway. There's always the odd one or two. But on the bit where that other person said, you're frustrated because you've never made it, I will dispute that. I will dispute that because, you see, my life changed. In 2017, my life changed. I moved to Cumbria. I left Wigan, my original hometown. I left Wigan behind me and I moved to Cumbria to pastures new for a fresh start. Then I met my now wife. And when I met my now wife, my priorities changed. Do you know what I mean? So it's not that I'm frustrated that I've never made it, I want to be on telly. It's no secret I did something on TV in 2018. I'd just met my wife at the time. I'd just met my now wife at the time. And that was like just a bit of fun, that thing on the telly and whatnot. But when me and her started getting serious, my priorities changed. And call me old-fashioned. She works, don't get me wrong. She doesn't earn anywhere near the money I'm earning. But I've got to put the hours in and work away and stay on my own all week for this wage. But I enjoy doing the job. But my priorities changed, and call me old-fashioned, but even in 2025, I did feel at the time, and I still do, at 50 years old, I'm set in my ways in that sense. Born in the mid-70s. I feel as if it's my duty to provide for my family as a man. It's my duty as a man to provide for my family. Even though she works as well, I just feel that it's my duty to provide. I'm as thick as pig shit when it comes to DIY or building anything, but I can go out and earn the money and put the hours in. And that's my duty. That's the way I feel. That's my belief. So I don't accept the comment that somebody made saying, oh, you're fucking frustrated. You're bloody frustrated because you never made it. And I don't accept that. I chose to turn my back on all that side of things and grow up. It was all right doing pissing a bit, doing a bit of window cleaning, but that was just for beer money. Doing a bit of window cleaning, I've always worked. Never had a pot pissing, do you know what I mean? But I've always worked. I was born with bugger all, and I still have most of it left. But the window cleaning side of things was good for me because it meant I was out early. I was out at 5:30 every morning, 6 o'clock, and I was back home for 1:30, 2 o'clock. I only did an 8-hour shift. And that meant my time was my own. Well, moving to Cumbria, that was fantastic because I could finish at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 1:30, 2 o'clock, and I could get straight out on a fell. I could go walking up the mountains 2-3 hours, come down, edit the bloody video, be back at home in Penrith in my little flat when I ended up getting. And it was great. I could do all my little shenanigans at weekends and that. But like I said, my priorities changed. When I met my wife, my priorities changed. And I don't regret anything about turning me back on that side of social media. I don't regret it at all. So I'm not frustrated. I'm actually happy. Mental-wise, I'm happy. Spiritual-wise, if there is such a thing, I'm content. I am happy and I am content. I finally grew up. When I met my wife, I finally grew up and I thought, well, I'm no longer a me. I'm now part of an us. Even though we spend a lot of time apart, we're on the phone every day and whatnot, but our relationship works good for us because she'd been on her own for a long time. She's of the same age as me. She'd been in a long-term relationship before, had a child. That child's now grown up. He's a grown man. He doesn't live at home anymore. He's long since flown the nest. He has his own family and his own life. My stepson, you know, I've got a 30 bloody 2-year-old stepson. Go figure that. I'm 50. Do you know what I mean? She had him when she was young. He's a lovely fella. He's a grown man. He's a lovely fella. So me and her had both been single for a long time. Neither of us was particularly looking for anything, and then we found each other, and we get on. We click. But we've both got our own independence that way. Yeah, we're together at the weekends and we're together when we're on holidays and stuff. But she has her own routine going on during the week, as I have mine sat in this tin box. And it just works for us. But yeah, like I said, the money I was on when I was on the window cleaning was shite compared to what I'm on now. The wage is still not the best, and I've got to put the hours in. I'm working between 60 and 65 hours a week for the wage I've got now. Do you know what I mean? But nobody will give you anything in life. See, a lot of the things now, especially, I know I've not been trucking that long, but I class myself as a proper truck driver now because it's either in you or it's not. But a lot of the time now, people say, wages are crap, this is crap, that's rubbish. They're just full of negative energy. They're like negative Nellies. Before a lot of people have even set out the yard on a Monday morning, they want to know what time they're getting back on Fridays. And they don't want to put any effort in. Nobody will give you anything in life. There's no such thing as a free meal in life. So if you want something, you've got to be prepared to work at it. And you know what I mean? If the wheels are turning, the truck's earning, and that's how it works. So I've no problem with working these hours. I don't want to tramp forever, but I'll always, as long as I'm fit enough, be involved in some kind of truck driving or trucking industry, because I just love it. It's a natural job for me. I just love it. Plus, I don't mind being on my own all week. Do you know what I mean? So that's that. How long have we gone on for? We've rambled on for 18 bloody minutes. I think that'll do for tonight. I wasn't even planning on doing a video. I just got up basically for taking a hay fever tablet, blow my nose, and I couldn't get back sleep straight away, but I will get back sleep in a bit. I'll get back sleep shortly. But yeah, we seem to have a lull in the battle here now with this bit of a storm that we're in. In a nutshell, if I could give any advice to people wanting to come into this industry now, I would say, hand on heart, and it's just my opinion, ask yourself why you want to do it. It's not glamorous, it's not a glamorous lifestyle, is it? Heck, it's far from it. Some of these TikTokers and YouTubers and that give you a small snippet of the day. The reality is it's long hours, it's long days, you're out in all weathers and you're on your own by the side of the road or on industrial estates like I'm on now, do you know what I mean? You're exposed to the elements, to the weather on your own. But it's either in you or it's not, do you know what I mean? And if you want to be home every night, then take a job on days. Don't go to get experience, you've probably got to go tramping for a minimum of 6 months. But if you want to be home every night and home every Friday night, which doesn't always happen, then this job is not for you. So you gotta, if you don't mind your own company, it's a lonely life. but it's only lonely if you allow it to be lonely. Some people are just not meant to be on their own. They can't cope on their own. They need somebody around them all the time. Whereas it doesn't bother me. I've got a radio, got access to the internet, I've got a phone to ring Wi-Fi. Do you know what I mean? I've even got a CB in this cab. There's nobody who uses CBs anymore. A Roger Dodger rubber ducky 10-4 coming at you. Cleopatra coming at you. Coming in your back doors. Charlie FM coming in your ear. So it doesn't bother me being on my own. I can entertain myself. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, I don't know if I mentioned it before, I've got a heck of a lot of acquaintances, me, but I've only got a handful of friends. I've always kind of been a bit of a loner, believe it or not. Yeah, I've always had this confident, outgoing personality, and I'll talk to anybody. I'll talk to anybody what will listen. I can go in anywhere, in any town, in any country, just walk in a place on my own and strike up a conversation with somebody. And I can get on with one fortnight and have crack, and then I go my own way. You know, I don't mind my own company. I can talk to anybody in a room, but I'm also a comfortable loner, as in I can go home or come back to this cab and shut my front door, shut curtains and lock myself out from the world until tomorrow. Sometimes when you're on a chipper job or something like that, you're in the forest, you can go for 3-4 days not talking to anybody. It doesn't bother me, you know what I mean? But not everybody can deal with that. And I'm not knocking them for it, but you just got to know your limitations. Know yourself. And ask yourself, could you cope with this? You know, are you a lonely person? Right, I'm going to get back to sleep now. I've been your old mate Borothea once again. You, my friend, have been beautiful. I don't know whether any of this made sense. It's just me giving you some random thoughts from my living room for the night. Well, for the week. This bloody hay fever's not getting any better. I'm sure I'm coming down with a bloody cold. I'll end up with a big red nose in the morning like Rudolph the pissing reindeer. Right, worse. Right. You, my friend, have been beautiful. I've been snotty. I'm out of here. See you later. I'm getting tired again now. Bye-bye.